you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
And good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time to wake up and have a good day. Yes. Welcome to another Hairyman Hijinks in the morning with me, Nikki. So good to see you guys here. The usual suspects in the house. So good, but let's bring on Mr. Enzo. Good
morning, everyone.
Morning. How are you?
Doing well. Bar's a little sparse this morning. I think everybody's hanging out on the beach today. A lot of their boats are out. Everybody's out enjoying the good weather out there.
Huh. I wonder what the temperature is like there.
Could find out.
They're all hungover is what's happened. They're still in bed. They're there on vacation. You know, they stayed up drinking. I got my coffee. I hope you guys have your warm beverage in your hand. Very good. Very good.
St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands, a calm 76 degrees.
Nice.
The high of 79 today. Partly cloudy. We are not endorsed by them.
Unless they want to send me a free trip, they can endure. For sure, for sure. So, let's see who we have here today. Let me go over there. Who was first in the house? Who was there? Must have been Grasshopper. And Miss Sandra, of course. Love ya, love ya. Good morning to you. Brian and Chewy. Yay. I was watching one of Brian and Chewy's videos the other day, and I was so worried for Chewy and his feet because he was walking in the snow. His dog was walking in the snow. And I'm like, where are his booties? Put some shoes on that dog. It's so funny seeing those videos and the dogs are trying to walk in their shoes, all crazy. Anyway, I'm sure he's used to it. He was having a blast, so it didn't matter. Who else do we have here this morning? Jen. Good morning, Jen. Good morning to everybody. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. I think people will start filtering in as it says 12, but not everybody's a chatting. So they're definitely yawning themselves awake. But so this morning I had something. Well, number one, everybody knows that I've been sick for the past 2 weeks. And I know I kind of explained things on one of Jeff's chill streams in the morning, but I literally coughed myself sick, sicker, okay, than what I was. Monday morning, I woke up and I felt like somebody was stabbing me, like type of stab on my right side. And it was to the point where I thought I was going to pass out. When it would happen, it would just strike so hard that I thought I'm going to just pass out. It was debilitating, at this point. I had been having this soreness pain for 4 or 5 days already. I'd already stopped coughing. Okay. It was just leftover soreness, which we've had before. And I just let it go and I'm fine. But this was different. It hurt. And I thought I freaking broke a rib. So there my daughter cancels herself and her work, cancels going to work and goes and takes me to emergency and call my husband. I don't want to alarm you, but I'm on my way to the doctor, to the emergency room, and I have chest pains. And I guess he must have been sitting in front of his boss because my wife's having chest pains. I'm leaving. and I don't know, but my other daughter's and my youngest was home Monday morning with a migraine. So everything was happening at once. So he had to leave work and I was over there and they did that's a great hospital. I have to say the hospital I went to is really great. They did every test they could possibly do, from checking my heart. That was the first thing they did, is, are you having a heart attack? And I said, no, it's not a heart attack. I feel it. I think I broke a rib. So first they did the heart monitor and then they did right away send me to x-rays. And then he found out about my history with the junk, with the co-junk, and sent me to get a CT. So of course, to do a CT, you have to be IV'd and everything up. And oh my God, what trials. It was like, could be a comedy show if you were to watch me. Number one, the ER was packed. It was packed. I was put on a gurney in the hallway with 2 little privacy things on either side. And my daughter was sitting on the end of the bed and this was like the worst gurney ever. It's like my ass is falling through the bottom. It had no guts.
Wait,
it was
this
horrible.
is the good hospital, you said.
And this is the good hospital. Okay. This is, they really follow through. I doctor wise.
You were following.
But yeah, I'm fuzzy, huh? I'm like, this dang camera, no matter what I do, if I move, there it goes a little bit. It unfocuses. And I did try to change the autofocus, by the way, but it defaults back. Anyway, that's something else. They wheel me into the CT, and she's hooking, my IV up to the thing because they have to inject you with dye. And she goes, let me know if you feel any liquid. And I'm like, okay. Sure enough, she hits the button and it starts doing its whirly thing above you, and the liquid just starts rolling down from my then site, my IV site, down my arm. And I'm like, it's leaking. And she stops and comes out. And she goes, this has been happening lately. I go, they are not. She says they're not. The nurses are not properly putting the hub onto the site where they put your IV. And then there's another little gadget that goes on there. Well, that they're not tightening up. And she says, I don't know who's doing it, but they're not putting this on right.
Again, this is the good hospital, you said.
Yes, it is.
It sounds great.
It's the private hospital, so it's good. It's supposed to be good.
Good. I don't want the public to get in there.
I know. And it sounds bad. It was she came and she couldn't check it herself because the nurses put all the plastic, the what do you call it? Like the Band-Aids and stuff to hold the thing down.
Right.
So she had to take all that off, reattach it. She goes, okay, now it's strong, put new adhesive and cover it up, and then hooked me up. And yeah, the second time around it went fine. And they could actually see bruising on my upper lobes of both lungs. And I'm like, what? He's like, I can also see when you had pneumonia 2 years ago. He goes, your lungs are scarred inside, both sides. But I can see on the outside where you have probably been coughing a lot. And I said, yes, I have. And he goes, you have torn tissue in your, I knew I should have wrote it down again. He named the muscle that's above your ribs on this side. And just from the constant cough, it had kind of a little bit tissue tears on that muscle. So that's what it is. It's just damage, just a little bit of damage on that side. But I swore. He goes, you have no broken bones. Your heart is perfect. You are breathing good, aside from, you got some junk in your lungs from previous issues. And my main concern was that my blood clots had come back when I was sick. And that can be serious because, that can drop and go other places. So, but no, he says, no, you don't have that. So you're good. And I go, but I haven't slept in 4 days. I go, I'm exhausted. And he's like, I'll give you something to sleep. And the rest is just, ibuprofen and stuff. So, oh my God, Monday night, I slept so good. I mean, I didn't realize I was, sleep deprived until I fell asleep. And yeah, so he said 4 to 5 weeks. And I could be in this pain for at least a week.
So the pain that you're feeling is all muscle tearing then?
Yeah. But it feels like somebody's jabbing me with a knife.
Jeez.
And I go, why so hard? Excuse me, guys. I choked on my coffee first thing this morning. Burned my mouth off. Yeah, he says that those muscle stuff hurts. And I know we've all heard of Jeff's story when his hamstring tore off his butt, the muscle went and slingshotted.
Right.
And he said that was the worst pain he had ever felt. Well, I believe him, because this is just a little bitty part, a little thing, and it hurts a lot. But I'm sleeping now, so that's good, and I'm making it through the day, and I just have to be careful. And I can't I can't go to the gym because they don't want me to do any of those until this is healed. And I just have to, every now and then, when the ibuprofen wears off, I'm like, okay, it's time for more ibuprofen. You know, and I just it just makes me, yeah, I feel something. Like in the first thing in the morning, because you're supposed to take the hydrocodone like every 6 hours for pain, right? But I can make it a whole night with just one. So that's what I'm doing. But by the morning, and I get up and start moving, I'm like, oh my God, okay, everything is out of my system. You know? I need something. You need to eat with that stuff too, because if you don't, it just screws up your stomach. I really feel for those who have to take pain management every day, you know?
Yeah, what a nightmare.
Intercostal, thank you. How come it just doesn't sound right? Intercostal, it sounds like intramural. I don't know. It just sounds weird. You're right, Jen. That's what it is. Intercostal rib injury. So, but it's all good. It'll get healed, and one thing after another. Next year it'll be something else. No, knock on wood. So
it'll be fun. You've got the good hospital to go to.
I got the good hospital. Yeah. I know. And now I can probably go through a bunch of things that have happened there.
Yeah, I'm
but
not a
it is what it
guy.
is.
I'm ER only. Like you pulled me out of the wreck and didn't ask me. I was unconscious, and that's how I ended up there. Kind of a thing.
Oh, jeez.
Why am I
here? Yeah, it's crazy. It is. We all go through it. We all have things that happen. But I swear to God, I would have bet money I broke my rib. That top rib.
Wow.
So but no, he comes out to me all smiling, this doctor, and he's like, nope, you're good. You can go. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm still in pain.
I know. From the time you walked into the hospital to the time you left with your
9 to 4.
Wow,
Yeah,
so you were 7 hours there.
Yeah. We checked in at 9 and we were out the door at 4, and then I had to go wait another hour and a half for them to fill prescriptions. So it was like 6. Yeah, because it was Monday, so it was right before Jeff's show, because I got home in time to sit down and put on his show, and then I was there. And okay, that's not even the kicker. The kicker is my dad was in the hospital in surgery at the same exact time getting his pacemaker put in. Jeez. So I had to keep the whole thing secret because I didn't want to worry my sister. She was already flipping out about my dad, because him getting the pacemaker was a totally last minute thing that happened. He had gone in the Sunday with breathing issues, and they found a tiny little hole in his lungs. However, it was healing, and they were already going to let him go Monday morning. Okay, he was healing, but my dad's a long haul COVID conjunct, so he's going to have issues like that. But right before they unhooked him from everything, so to let him go, he had his heart skipped and his rate, his thing dropped, his heart rate dropped. So then they didn't unhook him, and they watched him, and he had a heart murmur thing going on. So they said, guess what? You're not going anywhere.
I almost got out of here.
Yeah, but it was a good thing. This was a completely good thing, because had that happened in the middle of the night while he was sleeping, he could not wake up.
Right.
So they said, you're not leaving. We're going to give you a pacemaker and then you're going to be good to go. So that morning he was going to go in, and that's what he was there already. Moved him to the other side of the ward for heart issues and gave him a pacemaker. At the same time, I'm sitting my ass over there in a hallway with spotty internet. Okay. I was barely getting messages out to my brother-in-law, we were keeping it secret. I needed him to know where I was, but because my sister would be trying to get a hold of me to talk to me about my dad, and I couldn't answer the phone and stuff. She'd get pissed at me for not answering the phone. So I needed backup, for when this was all over. And when we were driving to the pharmacy, my sister's like, where are you? What are you doing? What? I go, okay, I can tell you now, but I just got out of the hospital. Oh my gosh. She goes, well, I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't know that you and Dad were both in there at the same time. So, but again, I don't know if this is beyond coincidence, but this is the third time that me and my dad have been in the hospital at the same exact time. And so she's like, don't do that. I go, I can't help it when I'm sick. I'm sick. So
the exact same time as your father all the time.
Every time he's in, I'm in too.
Wow,
one time it was with
creepy.
the cojunk. The second time was I had an emergency gallbladder. And then this time. So it's like, I hate getting old. Sucks.
Well, it beats the alternative. Just kind of stop. You're dead.
Of course. Of course. Yeah, but it was good to know that everything else on me was okay. Because they did all the checks. My daughter was like, you're going to have bruises all over your arms. And actually, no, the IV site was clean. This side has a little bit of a bruise left.
That's a pretty good one.
But we thought this one was going to be huge, and there's nothing because it looked bad, but it didn't. It didn't scar me. Too bad. So what else was I going to talk about today other than me?
Well, because you were mixed up with that and everything else, you were going to mention Sunday. So
yeah. And so it's been really hard this week. I still did my shows that Sunday. I was in pain, but I still managed to do a great show, actually. That happened Monday. But this coming Saturday is my daughter's sweet 16. She's having her birthday party. So I have been mad trying to get everything ready and still work, still in pain. And like yesterday, I think I went to 5 stores looking for these things I needed for her party.
It doesn't sound like the bed rest you're supposed to be getting right now.
Right. Okay. So then I exhaust myself. And so I've decided not to have a Sunday show this coming Sunday, folks. I'm going to just take that off because after her birthday party on Saturday, I just want to rest. And it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We had 3 good shows in a row doing today's show. I always pop on somebody's, but the one thing I think everybody knows is that I do a lot of research when I do my shows. So that takes a lot of time, and it is kind of hard to sit here in this chair and do that for a long time. So yeah, so I'm going to take Sunday off. So no show on Sunday, and it'll be great for me. It'll be. I'm sure
I don't
I'll
think
be
anything will think less of you about that. That's
I know.
Take some time.
Yeah, for sure. She's having a purple sweet 16. So everybody's got to wear purple, and all the decorations are purple and gift bags and all that stuff. So it's kind of fun, I kind of was taking it too far myself. She's like, Mom, I don't need that. I'm not going to wear it. Don't buy it. So, but it's good. It's all good. So yesterday I was watching how the TikTok CEO Shou Chu was being grilled by Congress, the lawmakers, in regards to they're considering taking TikTok or banning TikTok from the US. And which I can see why, they're really concerned that there's 150 million active users on TikTok in America, and they're concerned, that he is part of that. Sorry, somebody has messaged me. Just that he's part of the communist China. So they don't want our. See, I moved again. That damn camera. I don't know. You guys will have to watch me fuzzy. I'm done with it. But as he's sitting there talking and trying to answer their questions, they were not letting him answer. They were overriding him and practically yelling at him, and they weren't letting him answer any of the questions. He was trying to tell them what he was going to do to make TikTok safer for the use in the US. Number one, it's not even in everything that's held isn't even in China. It's in Singapore and the US. It's actually headquartered in Los Angeles, but it was like 5 hours long that they were grilling him, and each Congress member had like 5 minutes to ask him questions, and then they didn't let him answer. And he even asked many times, can I answer your question? And no, I'm sorry, we don't have time. And they'd go to the next person. It was so crazy that it was so one-sided. And I understand, that we really need to control the data, the information, security is very important. But I don't know. I didn't think that they should treat him that way still. So it was a little crazy. It does look like they've already made up their mind from everything, that had happened, that they're going to ban TikTok here pretty soon. And you had a list of countries that
I do
already.
Well, about what you saw yesterday, I didn't personally watch it. Heard a little bit about it on the news this morning, but it does sound like typical good old-fashioned political showboating. Right. We're against the thing, so that they can get their constituents to say, see, we're tough on people that are out to get you, kind of a thing.
Right.
Which is there's actually quite a few countries, a lot of them in Europe. Most of Europe has, at least as a bare minimum, the no TikTok or most other social medias on like government issued devices and stuff like that. But let's see, all of the UK, France, the Netherlands, Norway, New Zealand, Belgium, Denmark. The US has already put a thing where, nothing for, any government issue phones. Canada's basically going to do the same thing. Whatever the US is going to do, Canada's going to do. So whatever the decision is, Canada will follow suit. India back in 2020 has banned it because India and China really don't get along. But Taiwan, Pakistan, and Afghanistan all have some level of restrictions on TikTok and stuff like that. And the other interesting thing about this is it's mostly because, what everybody's like, wow, why ban it? I like TikTok. I like watching the dancing nurses or whatever it is you enjoy. the thing is China is collecting a lot of social data on people from all over the world, and you can learn a lot about a society just by collecting that data, what you watch, when you watch it, who you follow, all of these things. The other side of it is they control what you see on TikTok. They push specific videos in your direction, where for most of the Western world, they push a lot of political activists of all levels, of all stripes, that sort of closely match what you like to look at, kind of a thing. So you've always got, these things layered into like your normal watch lists in there that basically are to cause division, is basically what it boils down to. Because TikTok, they have TikTok in China as well, but that is highly structured. They don't see there's zero political anything on their version of TikTok. It's actually a lot of instructional stuff for like kids and stuff like that. Because let's be honest, TikTok is mostly a younger generation platform. And
I think it was. I think when the pandemic happened, a lot of older people who, over 30, who are at home now, caught on to that and have kind of taken over some of that. But they were supposed to they have rules in place. TikTok does have rules in place. Anybody 13 and under is not supposed to be on the app, period. 13 to 17 is supposed to have stricter rules, no ad placement at all on that, and time limit where something's supposed to come up and tell them they, need to get off. But what's happening is our kids, our preteens and teens, are smarter than that and know how to sign on and fake their parents' permission to get on the app, or they're just getting on and signing on with adding 10 years to their birthdays and coming in as already an 18 plus year old person, which allows them all access to everything plus ads. And I keep saying ads is because that's one of the strong points of the whole thing with the lawmakers, is that we are influencing our children with ads at an inappropriate age, and it's causing them to have mental issues because there has been many deaths that are being blamed on TikTok, because of trending. What happens is that there are kids out there saying, hey, let's play this game. Let's see how long it takes for us to pass out. So let's strangle ourselves until we pass out. And kids are dying. And they have with doing that. There's another one where kids are running in front of a train to see if they can escape a train and are dying. They have.
I was kind of fond of the spraying the flammable liquid on yourself, lighting it on fire, and then jumping into the swimming pool. But then, of course, people were like doing it in the shower. So like, when you're on fire, that's all you know is that you're on frickin' fire. So, and all rationale goes out the window. So you do crazy stuff.
All these little challenges and all those things. Grasshopper, exactly. They're taking off, but they are totally 100% blaming TikTok for that, when all that came coming into my mind is, well, where are the parents? If you have an under 18-year-old, even over 18, I don't care, you need to know what your kids are doing, what's on their phones, and how they're using it. So it just astounds me that now my kid has TikTok, but you know what? She does not have it public. People do not see her. She makes it for her, me, her aunt, and some of her friends. I see who's on her friends list. She shares that with me because she knows that it's inappropriate for me to see her doing her little dance moves and being out there for, some pervs to see, because they're using that site too to get to those younger kids. And she doesn't have a problem with it. She's having fun with it that way, But
Unfortunately,
I'm
there's a
active.
lot of parents out there that are using this as a babysitter. Here, go play on your phone.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not bothering me, go do your stuff. I'm busy. Probably playing their own game on Xbox or something. But unfortunately, that's a reality today. So.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. They need somebody to blame. I know if my kid, God forbid, something happened to her, that I would not be consoled with anything. I would be attacking everything, But it's still, you need to know what your kids are doing and how they're doing it and how much time they're spending on these devices and all that. It makes a difference. So, so they are rightly concerned about that. And but the kids are going to keep doing it, and they're going to stay on as long as they want, and they can find ways around it. Just like there's kids out there that I've heard of kids who know how to get the parents' passwords to purchase things online and all of that stuff. It's happening, and I don't know. I can see how gathering information is bad because of the state of being right now, with China and Russia and all of these things. He actually testified that he does not share or sell information, and that he has proof he doesn't sell information, but they were not hearing that. They think because he has the same lawyers as ByteDance, which is the one for China, okay, it's called ByteDance, that they're in cahoots, because whatever that lawyer knows, he knows about both. And it's already been confirmed that ByteDance is run by a communist. He is a communist.
The full truth of that is all businesses in China have the government involved in it. All of them. It's everything. Not like there's no breakout, billionaire starting up Amazon over in China, and it's like, the government's not going to tell me what to do. No, that does not happen, at least not for very long. If it did, it's very much every single, they don't have to share it. It's going straight to the government there. And that's who we don't want having that kind of levels of information about the whole planet. Mm-hmm. There's the amount of social, because it's taking that information and then forcing others, channeling specific stuff to those people, that the social programming level of it is insanity. They can do whatever they want on that platform.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it has a long, I don't mind the app. I think it's fun. I find it fun and hilarious, but I'm not a nefarious user. I just want to see the dogs walking funny and talking and doing silly things. Sure. But what's happening is there's that other side where a lot of people are using it for misinformation. They're putting out their own diets, their own remedies, home remedies that could be super dangerous to people. Okay. Yeah, you can make medicines out of anything out of your backyard probably, but please don't do that. So they need to be better about that. If it comes to healthcare, suicidal issues with people, because there are a lot of kids, not even just kids, adults, who are going on there and saying, I want to kill myself. What are they doing about that? And there's a big portion of people who will sit there and watch that.
Mhm.
So they they do have a long way to go to fix that, or to make that algorithm catch that and either ban them completely or send them. Well, they do have a thing where it sends them to a suicide watch thing, pops up, I guess. But
Right.
they need to be taken off, because that they're feeding into people watching them, you know.
Right. And that's what it turns into, is that popularity game. Is people are paying attention to me. It's well, all of social media is, hey, look at me, to be honest. And depending on what level it is, you can talk about movies or whatever and things like that, normal type conversations. But there are certainly a lot of people that are just doing it for attention, for themselves. And our society has gotten to the point now with social media that when you fall out of favor with whatever it is you're doing as your normal social media thing, whatever platform you use, where you hanging out at the bar or going, building something that is, people find interesting for a while, but then like the new shiny thing comes up and people start fading away. Now this person falls into a Great Depression because they were on top of the world for, that 15 minutes of fame, and now it's gone, and they want to get that back. And some people will go to extreme measures to do that.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of good has come from it as well. People have gotten helped with issues, and there is a lot of stuff like education wise or DIY stuff, but they're not focused on that. They're just focused on that little bit that is, of course, the negative stuff, the child safety. I mean, the cartels using it, the perverts are using it to contact the younger kids. And the trending stuff, the selling of information, the product stuff too. People, we don't know what they're selling. Are they vetting what they're allowing to be sold on that app? There's a lot of stuff that really needs to be looked at. It is deemed that you can, that it's that whole idea of you get to come and say whatever you want to say type of thing. But we all know that everywhere is censored when you want to talk about like the pandemic stuff and anything political can have ramifications if you decide to talk about that and your opinion about that. And maybe that type of site shouldn't. Maybe that should just be off, completely. Well, that's our right to talk about. No, it's his private company. He could do whatever he wants with his, you can talk about it. Go out to City Hall and stand on the steps and spew whatever you want to spew.
But as far as TikTok goes, it's not that person, the CEO, whoever was in front of Congress yesterday. It's not that person's personal thing. It's still the government's. He's the figurehead in charge of whatever that company is in China.
Right. Well, the whole thing is that he says he's not associated with China because everything is not China based, other than there are technologies, which all Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, they all have coding that somehow has China involved. Okay. So it's not just TikTok, it's all social media, because it's a global thing. Technology is a global thing that's grown from the smarties all over the world. So that's what they're trying to get at. Now, he says there is no information that is stored in China. It's all off thing. And now he's trying to get this whole Texas project where all of it is going to be held in Texas. in a place here in Texas. None of it will be in Singapore or anywhere else. It's just going to be LA and Texas that are going to hold all the information for their own use. They're never going to sell it. It's just for to grow their TikTok. But they're flat out said no. You are involved with China. You're Chinese. You're involved with China, and that's the end of it. So
the super sad truth about all of that whole thing that you just talked about was if he had come up with the option, it's like, okay, U.S. government, how about we let you be in charge of that data? You decide where it's going to go, since you know where you should know where it goes. They'd be like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
In that regard, it's no better than no government at all should be in charge of that data. Honestly, because every social media, including this one that we're using right now, sells the data from all of this, all of the interactions and all that stuff to various groups around the world. You know, whoever wants to pay for it will certainly have access to it. But as far as, like you said a couple of times, the CEO of TikTok that was, in front of the government folks saying, oh, we don't sell it. You're right. You don't. You just give it. You give it to the folks that are in China, because that's part of the company. That's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Yes, they do have a zillion server farms that a lot of other international companies use. And they're probably soaking up all of that data too. China's notorious for inviting people in. Yes, come and set up your business in our country, and sure, you can do whatever you want. And they steal every intellectual property they have, and suddenly, oh look, we've got a brand new fighter plane, or we've got a brand new technology that's exactly like this company's. It's happened a lot. That's why the last few years you've seen a lot of those bigger companies that were all like a dozen years ago convinced that, hey, let's build up China, cheap work. They'll mine the crap out of their own country because they have no kind of laws saying that they can't blow up whole mountains and pollute the environment. It's their environment, things like that. So it was super cheap to do that. And they found out that all of those intellectual properties to build, fine electronics and stuff like that was all immediately stolen, and then having a knockoff version show up 7 months later. Oh, we don't know what you're talking about. And it happened a lot. So much so that a lot of companies are like, you know what? We're just going to go back to where we came from, because this is actually costing us money now. Mm-hmm. This isn't so cheap.
Jeff says Native Americans were dying left and right drinking Lysol in the res for 50 years. No one gave a shit. One rich kid eats a Tide Pod and there's a national movement. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I just think that, it's out of our hands. Number one, they're going to make that decision, and they're going to follow suit with the rest, of practically the world. All of Europe practically is already banned TikTok, and I don't think there's going to be any way for him to say he's not part of China. So, but I'm telling you, all of them are it's the same technology, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, it's all the same technology that he's using. So who knows? I think down the line, everything's going to get some kind of a more government directive, on how to run those things. That's just, I think it's coming. I think that's coming. Maybe not now. Maybe in the next 5 years.
The biggest thing I feel, at least, is what, as I mentioned before, is what they push to the end user. Yes, they're collecting all the data, and there's a lot of companies that specifically do that, because nobody reads that big long terms of service to scroll, agree. Yes, I'm not a robot. And that's it. That's all that people do, that don't see what the information that they're putting out there
Yeah.
is going on, and then act surprised when somebody's able to track down exactly who they are, where they live, figure out their banking stuff, just from observation and just everything about a person. It's like, you put your entire life on like Facebook and stuff like that. How can you act
It's
surprised?
true. I'm
that,
guilty. I am guilty of
yeah.
doing that. Yep. It's just because, and to think that in the 80s, we didn't have a phone. We didn't have any of that, you know. It was go find a phone, call your mom, go find a phone, you know. Do you have a quarter? Let me borrow some change so I can use the machine over there, the phone booth.
I remember when I was in high school having like, I just would take a piece of tape and tape like 4 quarters of the inside of my school locker every year. It's like, in case I got to make that emergency phone call, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's so things have really changed, you know, and everybody wants that information so that they can use that to make money, because it's all about the money. And who knows what's going to happen. But I think they've already pretty much made their mind up. The way they were treating this guy was one of the points that got me all heated. It was just the way they were treating him. I thought it was really disrespectful on the part of America to treat him that way. It's bad. You guys can go watch 10 or 15 minutes of that whole thing in Congress, and you're going to be disgusted. I could barely watch maybe 2 hours off and on of it, and I was like, why are they treating him like that? I know they've already made up their decision, so you know they don't have to treat him like that. They just it was disgusting.
Unfortunately, a lot of congressional hearings are exactly like that, regardless of whoever it is that's sitting in the hot seat getting questioned. It's not so much they're asking questions as they're doing political grandstanding for the camera.
Completely. It was completely like that.
You know, it doesn't matter what the person's response is. It's just they want that news bite, that little sound bite on the news for that evening of them being hard on China. Look at the person. They want that picture.
We will protect we will protect America. And
right, exactly. That's what they want.
Know.
It has nothing.
I didn't get that vibe from
this
guy. I just think he found an opportunity. He went for it, and he got sucked in because he's Chinese, and he has the same lawyers as this other guy. And I don't know. Maybe he's pulling the wool over my eyes too. I don't know. You know, maybe he is completely in cahoots with China. But yeah, but none of his books show. Well, he won't show his financials. He totally said, no, you don't get to see my financials. And they kept asking it over and over and over and over and over. Every single one wanted to know how much money he was making. And he said, no, that's not going to do that. But it's a lot.
Anytime there's any kind of like news stuff like out of that, I'm fairly I won't say anti-China. It's just their government is I'm sure there's fine folks in China all over the place, of course, but their government is a mess, and they certainly would not miss a chance to take advantage of any other government across the world. And they've been doing it quite a bit here lately, since all these other countries invested a bunch of money into them and putting their companies, and now they're an economic powerhouse to the point where a lot of people are now having buyer's regret about getting hooked in with them and are starting to leave. Now they're starting to panic.
Yeah. Can see that. What are you being triggered about, sister? What am I so far on the other end of? I'm not on any end. I'm pretty like, I don't care if TikTok stays or goes. So what are you triggered about? I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know what's triggered you. I'm just having a show, okay? I got to go both ways. I got to talk about both sides. That's what a host does. So I don't know why you're triggered. Don't listen if you don't want to hear. That's all I can tell you. But there's nothing to be triggered about. We don't have control over this, okay? You can say that the whole world is changing and that we're being awakened and all of that stuff, and that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, China's always had spies. Always.
They're pretty good at the
100%.
spy game.
Yeah, for sure. That's not a secret.
They're really good at spying, and they're really good at duplicating other people's work.
Do theirs, and I always end the bigger person and don't talk shit, but I just can't anymore. About what? What did I say? What did I get you mad about? Did I say something wrong? What about this conversation am I for or against? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand, Susie. It's all good. That's all. I'm all good. It's just a topic. And okay. Should we change the topic? Oh, it's already 10 o'clock. We should just end it.
Yeah, it's
I didn't even realize we talked that long. I didn't even get to the rhetoric or the. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. I got too many things.
A hot topic.
Well, you warned me. You said that was going to happen. But now, there goes my damn camera again. I'm so sick.
Even the camera's turning against you. The Chinese are. Is that a Chinese camera? They're trying to shut you down.
The Chinese are in my camera trying to fuzz me up. Oh, look, Pine Island's going to do a stream in an hour. I'll probably jump on his. All I have to do today is I have to wrap gifts and organize some stuff for tomorrow.
So how big of a soiree are you throwing there for your daughter's sweet 16?
I think around 20 people. I know about 16 have confirmed. So if parents come, I don't know. I don't know if both parents are going to decide to jump in. If so, they're doing their own thing. I'm just feeding the kids. They'll have to do their own thing. And but tomorrow last minute I have to go get balloons and get the cake. And
I was going to ask, I know you're an amazing cook, if you were making up something special.
She had asked me to, and I told her if she had a little thing at the house with the kids staying over the night and, her friends, that I would definitely make her cake for her, like I have almost every year. But if we're going to have a bigger party somewhere else, then I am buying it. I'm not going to be making it. Which, yeah, I did. And because she wants a special, she's got a strawberry shortcake cake, and it's going to be decorated with fresh fruit and purple.
Strawberry shortcake, the dessert, or strawberry shortcake that is the character from like the
No, the cake, the actual shortcake. Yeah, that's her thing. She's not big on the cake, but she loves her some strawberry shortcake. So we did the taste testing, and she was like, "Yeah, Mom, I want this one." So they're gonna make me a cake, and it'll be good. Should be fun. Awesome. Should be fun. I hope. It's gonna come and go before I know it. So, but hey, anything else? Are you gonna be doing something coming up? Are you gonna be somewhere?
I guess be on with JoJo on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. we'll be talking about the aerial school phenomenon at the
Aerial?
90s. Yeah, it was basically it was a UFO encounter by a bunch of kids at a school in Zimbabwe in the 90s.
Ah, yes, yes. I remember that recently being told that. Cool. That sounds interesting for sure. So there's something. Everybody, thank you so much for coming. And please, before you leave, can you do me a favor? Hit that like button. Leave me a little comment. Let me know what you think about what we talked about or not. I don't care. But remember, no show this coming Sunday. But I'm sure you will see me around in the chats or everybody, Jeff's chill stream. It'll be fun. So thank you again. Love you guys. Bye-bye. I always do that too. I hit that dang wrong button the last time.